Hello. I love when stuff works. So nice. Well, let's begin, as we always do, by ringing the bell 3 times. And we'll let the sound and vibration call us into this room, call us into this physical existence, this physical body, and call us to our practice together. We can also begin by saying the Refuge Prayer. And the Refuge Prayer is a prayer of intention that we can simultaneously take a bit of respite or find comfort in the possibility of the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Buddha as the historical figure, and Buddha as the teaching of what that historical figure taught us, that we each have the ability to awaken in each and every moment. The Dharma are the teachings that help us to consider that awakening, and the Sangha is the supporting community, all of you sitting here, supporting a practice for each other and for yourselves. So if you'd like to join me in saying the Refuge Prayer 3 times. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In our practice here together, we seek to experientially explore these teachings that help us as individuals to find what is right, wise, complete, and true to us as individuals. Each of us needs to find that thread that we can take refuge in, that we can take stock in, that we can awaken in this very moment. Not because I or anyone else tells you that you can or should awaken, but you know. It's the knowing that you're looking for. We seek to benefit all beings without exception, and our intention is to do no harm, only benefit. So as we settle in this morning to our practice, we'll use our body and our speech and our mind to help us to become awakened in this moment. So we'll start with a bit of chanting and then sit in meditation and sit with silence. And during that silence, everything will happen. sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, and naturally arising thoughts. And we just allow all of that to happen. We can acknowledge it and then simply release the need to do anything with it. So we'll start with a bit of chanting. Some of you like chanting and some of you don't like chanting, and it doesn't matter. We'll get to that when we get to our talk today, but I urge you to try it, even if you don't think you like it. Make some sound. Make some sound and vibration. It doesn't need to even be the right words or the right pitch. It doesn't matter. Just experience the sensation of making sound and feeling the vibration through your vessel, through your body. So just try. So this morning we will chant Lama Cheno, which means calling in the Lama, but more accurately means awakening the teacher within each of us. Because that's ultimately what we're looking for. If we are the ultimate knower, then the ultimate teacher is also the ultimate knower. Lama Cheno, 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 Lama Cheno. Allow your breath to find its natural rhythm. Make sure your body's comfortable, not too tight, not too loose, upright, but not stiff, just relaxed. Take some deep breaths and focus on the sensation of breathing. Breathe, relax, center, and smile. Befriend your practice, befriend yourself, befriend each other. Relax and release all the physical and mental tension. Focus on your inhalation and just simply relax on your exhalation. Loosening the straitjacket of habitual and neurotic tendencies and preoccupations. Let go or get dragged. In fact, just let go. Let come and go. Let everything be just as it is. There's nirvanic peace in things left just as they are. Remember, as we sit, there's nowhere else to go and nothing to do. Nothing special to be or become. Nothing to fix, nothing to fabricate, nothing to manipulate. Simply sitting. Simply breathing. Simply just being. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 So how'd you like that chanting? Good? I poke at you a little bit because I know that not everybody likes it. That last chant that we did is Om Mani Padme Hum and translates as the jewel is in the lotus. Think about what a lotus flower goes through. Comes from darkness and mud and muck and mire. No mud, no lotus. So do you think the lotus likes the mud and the darkness? Or does it like when it blossoms in the sun? Does it like it? Does it dislike it? Does it matter? I want you to see this because it doesn't matter whether the lotus likes its situation or not. It's in its situation and it's going to be what it is. The jewel is in the lotus. Do you get it? Follow the path of the lotus. Just be it. Be the lotus. Be the human. Just that simple. Why are we fighting that? Why do we fight that? Over the course of the last few months, we've talked about ideas and concepts that we are considering. And remember that Dharma is not doctrine. It's not read this and learn to agree with it. It's not what it is at all. That's why we allow every Dharma teacher to print everything that they want. Because it's not necessarily your truth. It's meant for your consideration. It's meant to stimulate your awakening through your consideration. All of these things are aimed at our conscious, awakened awareness. That's the purpose of all of this. So that we can be awake and aware of what our situation is. we have to learn to continually remind ourselves that we are in a state of conditioned response. We've learned this stuff all of our lives. And liking and disliking is a very specific obstacle that's not far from the end of your nose. I mentioned a couple weeks ago that I ran into one of the people who came here in the beginning and used to come to TBC. And she said, I just don't like that church. So I'm not going. I'm just going to practice at home, I guess. But I just don't like that church. And I thought, how sad. Like, I just don't get it. So you're not going to come because you don't like rock walls or some stained glass or the seat. Be the lotus. Like, I'm going to sit in some mud and some cold, dark water, and I'm going to bloom in the sun. Because that's what it is. This practice is not about finding our comfortable seat and blissing out. Not even close. And if that's where you're at, you're off track. I know that's a little pointed, but sometimes we need to, get a little bit of a cold water in our face to wake up. That's what it's about. Our meditation practice allows us to explore that, because not every time we sit down is it going to be a pleasant and lovely and blissful experience. Sometimes your back hurts. Sometimes you're tired. Sometimes you just can't figure out why the heck you're just sitting there. And that's what we explore. Explore the sensation without trying to struggle with it, without trying to control it into something else. Stop trying to make a bad situation into a good. I actually know a couple people who would take the opposite and try to make a good situation bad. But stop trying to do that. It's about our awakened awareness and teaching ourselves a different condition and a different conditioned response, rather than zoning out into an unconscious state of response. We can make a conscious effort to go, oh, that's what that is. And that's all I need to know. Oh, I don't like that. So, oh, I like that. So, we're still in the experience, whether we like it or not. So the whole idea that we're creating our own suffering, there's a great example. So it's interesting, and I encourage you to embrace that throughout your week. Make that your practice, awakening to even those things that you think that you like and you don't like. And I'm not saying don't change it. If you're sitting in an uncomfortable seat in your living room and you want to get up and move, do that. But because you're having an awakened response to it and not a habitual irritation that you're just fleeing the discomfort. Yeah? Last week we talked about how we can find serenity and contentment wherever we are. That contentment is the greatest form of wealth. Imagine how much easier that is when we're realizing that whole dichotomy of like and dislike. Let go of the grasp of that. It's not the steering wheel, it's just the wheels. Lama Surya Das says to cultivate and illumine your own natural resources for a change. We seek what we are. He talks about, in this next teaching, about the 8 worldly winds, which are the habitual pitfalls, temptations, and addictions which blow us around and drag us off course. With this teaching, he says, we wish that we may be free from desiring pleasure and happiness, and not wanting pain and unhappiness, from wanting to gain and succeed, and not wanting to lose or fail, from wanting to be praised and not wanting to be criticized, from wanting fame and fearing obscurity and anonymity. May we always see through and be free from the momentary feelings of attraction and aversion, liking and disliking. May we be free from that obstacle, based on the dualistic illusion of the wanted and the unwanted, of hope and fear, and of solidity and separateness. He says, through equanimity and detachment, may we recognize it all as merely subjective, dreamlike display of primordial, naked awareness. That's a big thought. But as we relax these conditional ideas of liking and disliking and fear, that we just let go and let ourselves be in the experience of what we're experiencing. Where the lotus being the lotus, where the human being the human. And that's great. That's our opportunity. Let's not try to make it into something else. But we continually tend to do that. It's this idea of self-improvement, that I have to be always happy and always in bliss, and nothing will bother me. Well, sometimes things will bother you. Sometimes things won't be pleasant. And we can make an awakened effort, an awakened change. But it's only in that awakened state that we can truly transform. Make sense? So play with that a little this week. When you realize you're uncomfortable, look for that, the flag of uncomfortable. You don't like your sandwich, or you don't like the person that you're sitting next to because they're noisy or they breathe weird. Explore that. Oh, that's just a sensation. I'm having an emotional reaction to that sensation. Oh, look, human being human. Amazing. So try that this week. Upcoming, we have our intro to meditation. This is a one-night class. I do it in one night because I think that there are a lot of misnomers about what we do and what we don't do in meditation. So I try to clean that up. So it's an hour-and-a-half exploration of what meditation is. I give you a little structure of how you can meditate, have a meditation practice. Of course, there are hundreds of different ways and methods to meditation. This is a very simple one. It's not even necessarily Buddhist if you don't need it to be. It's just about the exploration of meditation. So that's coming up on the 29th, I'm guessing. So at the end of the month. It's a great thing to bring your friends to, your family to. I'm doing everything I can to have my parents sitting right there, because they have been promising for like 8 months that they were going to be sitting there. So I'm trying very hard to have them sitting there. So with all of that, there's cookies and coffee downstairs and a door tray in the back. What's the...
Oh, I just wanted to remind everybody, I haven't made it up yet since I've been gone, but I will have the summer list of the items for the outreach programs, and when I make it up, I will post it on to our sponsor page.
If you send it to me, I'll put it in the newsletter as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's great. So there's coffee and cookies and a community that likes to hang out with coffee and community. So I encourage you to go downstairs and spend a few minutes getting to know somebody new and hang out. Of course, with all of this practice, our intention is that it be for the benefit of all beings without exception. So our Bodhichitta dedication that we always close with is really about an awakened heart essence that we gain, that we can shift our existence. And just by that effort alone, we'll change the people around us, the things around us. Without us, we don't need to bring everybody in this room if they don't need to be in this room. It's about our awakened existence and our transformation. But with that, we dedicate all of that merit to every being everywhere. So if you'd like to join me in saying the Bodhichitta dedication 3 times. May the pure, brilliant sun of Bodhichitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. May the pure, brilliant sun of Bodhichitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. May the pure, brilliant sun of Bodhichitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. Body, speech, and mind directed toward awakening and for the benefit of all beings without one single exception. Don't overlook the Buddha in your seat. Thanks, everybody.